Hi everybody. So you're not gonna believe this. I was doing my energy read like I always do. I always do an energy read, right? I do a couple of them several times a day. Wait, hold on. All right, so you guys, I left a link to my Google Drive where you could check it out. I made a new folder called Police Correspondences, which is my interaction with the state of Maine. I contacted senators, the governor, the attorney general, and everyone about what happened to me when I was kidnapped out of my driveway and drugged and stuff. All right. I am pulling cards right now, and it says that there are 3 FBI agents, okay, who are trying to frame me for fraud because I won't stop complaining about what happened to me. Okay? And so I pulled cards to understand why would they do something like that. And it said there was a Queen of Cups in the reverse who was insecure because I kept going to the government complaining about how the dispensary and all this stuff and how it was drugged and how there's a drug trafficking operation, okay? The Queen of Cups in the reverse, according to my tarot reading, is Janet Mills. Janet Mills is the governor of Maine. From what I understand, by the way, she's also a Democrat. From what I understand, this is what I understand from this situation. Our governor used to be a Republican. I forgot what his name was. Okay. He was replaced, I think, with Janet Mills. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first moved to Maine, I didn't notice any crime at all. I used to live in Portland, and I didn't see like people passed out off of drugs and stuff. That wasn't going on. When I came back to Maine, when Janet Mills became the governor, I started seeing people laid out on the street all the time. The park in Portland and the city area is now completely unsafe. It's surrounded by homeless people and drug addicts. I think you even see like needles everywhere. All right. Everybody knows Donald Trump. Donald Trump has beef with Janet Mills. She's making these campaigns talking about she's standing with Mainers against ICE and blah blah blah. And Susan Collins has been, she's having a lot of commercials because it seems like she really pissed off a bunch of wealthy people in Maine for some reason. And now my cards are making sense. This is all alleged, by the way. From what I understand, this is what's going on. Before Janet Mills took over Maine, the dispensary thing was approved by voters, but the governor kept delaying it. And, I smoke marijuana. I don't anymore, but I used to. And I'm starting to think the problem isn't necessarily marijuana. It's the people running the dispensaries who are involved in drug trafficking. All right. And so it's my belief that a bunch of drug lords and cartel or whatever is behind Janet Mills. They funded her campaign to ensure that she would get elected, okay? And they've been supporting her because they've been making a lot of money because Maine is now a spot to transfer drugs into Canada, all right? And so if the drug cartel is behind Janet Mills, then the people involved in the border, they're involved with her too. They get paid off and they allow drugs to enter Canada. And so Miss Janet Mills has a problem with me, allegedly. This is all alleged. By the way, I'm going to call this allegedly. Everything I say in this video is just allegedly. It's just tarot, whatever. She has a problem with me because I keep complaining. I complain to the DEA, I complain to the CIA and the FBI, I complain to everybody about the drug trafficking here and how nobody seems to be doing anything about it. The attorney general doesn't want to do anything. So then I remember I contacted the cannabis control people, and I pulled cards on it, and I was supposed to have an interview with them about how it was drugged. But from my point of view, the amount I was drugged, that should be like law enforcement, okay? And so they contacted me. I was supposed to have an interview, but I skipped out the interview because when I put cards on them, it said that they were also a part of the drug trafficking, and they just want to get information for me to know how much I knew. So the entire state of Maine is being ran by a person, Miss Janet Mills, who's backed by the drug cartel. It's in my, look, it's in my reading. I wonder if this is also happening in other states where recreational weed is legal. I really wonder. And I'm wondering if a cartel is behind the Democratic Party, which is why their whole biggest problem with ICE is that their drug mules are being deported. I already made a video about which cartels are running Maine. It's the Cubans, the Liberians, how you say them, Ecuadorians, and what was the other one? El Salvador. I can't remember. I think it was El Salvador, but I can't remember. You're going to have to look at my other video about the drug cartel here. No, it wasn't. It was, I remember, it was Cuba, Liberia, Ecuador, and Jamaica. They're shipping drugs. They use primarily, oh, by the way, if the DEA actually wants to look into it, or the FBI, make sure the right people are not on the case. What they're doing is that they're taking, Maine has a huge logging industry, okay? And what they're doing is that they're transporting the drugs in the tree logs. Right? They're in the logs. The trucks. That's not the only thing, but they also use like shipping boats, but they're also in the logs. It is my wish that Miss Janet Mills gets removed from her position as the governor. I believe at this point, maybe the best option is probably a Republican governor who cares about law and order and cares about shutting down this Democratic drug trafficking operation going on in Maine right now, where apparently also the Attorney General is also involved. The Attorney General is also involved. I guess everybody's making money off of it. It's like absolutely unbelievable. And so if you go, I'll leave a link to my Google Drive in the description bar if you want to see it, okay? All you gotta do is click on police correspondence, okay? And you'll see I have more than 18 files of all my interactions with the government in the state of Maine. Me complaining to them about what's been going on, the harassment from the police, because the police, not all of the police is involved. I just want to state this. Not all of the police is involved, but the Liberians, they run this town in Lisbon. They run this place, and so the Lisbon police, they're involved too. And so I go to the Attorney General, I go everywhere, I complain about the Lisbon police not doing their job, and then they respond by telling me, contact the Lisbon police and issue your complaint. I'm like, what? They're giving me the runaround. I complain about the Lisbon police not taking my report about how I was kidnapped and drugged, and they tell me go complain to the Lisbon police. That's not their job. All these people, I don't know if all of them are, but it seems like a large majority that are involved in this drug trafficking stuff. I just want to put that out there.